The next part is we have already know about for loop and while loop, right? And in C programming we also have can I say another construct that is a do while loop, right? So in this part I will talk about the do while repetition statement, right? While mean you have to check for the condition. If the condition holds true, you can go to the body inside the while loop. But for the do while loop, right? It will do a bit different to the while loop, right? Because you can do this statement first before you check for the condition. For the do while loop, right? So this statement will be executed at least one. Execute at least one time. Okay, I would say that do while loop and while loop are exactly the same, but you can use in different way. But one different way that is important is that for while loop, right, the statement inside while loop, right, it will be executed if the condition is true. But for do while loop, right, do first, do statement and then check condition. But this one, check condition and then do, right? So for the while loop, right, at least one statement will be executed. Okay, this is an example of do while loop, right? So we want to print counter, right? Assign counter, right, as an unsigned integer, and then do print out counter, and then in while loop, right, we plus counter, right? Plus counter means you plus counter first. Okay, I will do the step by step, right? Now counter is one, right? Counter is one here, and then go to this one, print out one, and then go to this one is less than or equal to 10, right? And then counter will be plus 2, and then print 2 and check 10 less than or equal to 10 or not. Then count plus counter. No, I'm sorry, I missed the step. I have to say like this. You have to see this carefully. Okay, this is important. You set counter first is equal to 1, and then you print 1, and then plus counter mean you pass the counter to 2, pass counter to 2 first, and then check later. This one you can put star here. Count paster, pass counter first, and then check later. Counter. Oh. Pass counter first, and then check counter less than or equal to 10 seconds. Why? Because we use pass counter, so you have to pass counter first and then check later. But in opposite, if you use counter pass, you have to check counter first less than or equal to 10 or not, and then counter plus counter is equal to counter plus 1 later. Okay, this one will be different. So in this one you have to step by step, you print out 1 first and then counter, and then check 2 less than 10, and then print print 2, and then counter plus to 3, check 3 less than or equal to 10. Okay, it's still okay. So then 3, print out 3, counter plus 4, 4 less than or equal to 10. Okay, until 9. Print 9, and then counter plus 10. Check is equal to 10, is equal to 10 or not? Yes, right? Then print 10. This one is print, okay? Print 10, and then 10 plus or counter plus will be 11. 11 less than or equal to 10 or not? No. Then N. Okay, this is a step by step of this program, right? Now, if I suggest you, if you have time, you can write down this program and then try to check for it. But this is a step by step inside the program execution, right? Print out and then counter plus. You can change to counter minus and see the result. The result will be not the same. The result will be what's happened if you use counter plus. What is the result? Until 10. You can check for it and tell me. Because we have only just 15 minutes left, so I will continue to the next one, the next part. So this one is first chart for the do while loop. Okay. Right. You have to do action first and then check for the condition. If the condition still holds true, so you have to go to the loop. Go back to do the loop. Otherwise, you will go to the false condition and then end up this one. Okay, this is the first chart for the do while loop. Okay, the next one is the switch multiple selection. Sometimes you may need to have more than one condition, right, to check for, right? So switch will be useful when a variable or expression is tested for all the values. It can assume and different actions are taken. Okay, for the switch case, right, you can use switch value. Switch value. If switch value will be variable. And then if you want to check value is equal to 1, you can use switch value case 1 or case 2. And case 1 we do this action, case 2 we do the action. Otherwise, you can use default and then actions. Okay, this is a format for the switch multiple selection statement. Maybe we'll go to the C program in order to make it easier to understand. Okay, let's see this example. Right, if you want to check for the number of the grades, right, that you input from the keyboard, right? Okay, you can use the main, in the main function, you define the number of A, B, C, D, F, right? They are the grades for the students. And then print grade or print A, B, C in order to for each students, right? Let's enter the grade, right? And then Y grade is you can use get car in order to get one character from keyboard, right? And can end up with end of file, EOF. I will tell you about this later. You can just simply use this one first, okay? And then maybe you can try this program, try to write this program in the lab, right? And check it out, okay? But in this one, I'm not going to express or explain you about this this one. But you can simply that if you want to check, you can get character A, B, C, D, F, right, from the keyboard, right? But if you want to end up with the different character, you can use end of file character. If you use window, you can press alternate Z, right? When you press alternate Z, it will return ASCII code -1. -1 will means end of file here. If you want to stop ending the character, you can use Control Z. That is a special character. I will tell you later. But if you use Mac, I'm not sure. You can use alternate D or Command D. Maybe you can check it out. But for the window, you can use Control Z, Control Z, right? And now this program, I just want to focus on just only use the switch case. Okay, so switch statement will check each of its nested case for a match. For this one, you can input grade, right, which is a character, right? Grade is a character, right? Grade. In C program, right, a character can be treated as an integer as well. For this example, A is a character, but it can be used as an integer of the ASCII code 65 with the number of the ASCII code of capital A. For small a, it is 97. Is the ASCII code of A, small letter A, and B is 66B, and C is 67, and go on. Okay, so in this case, you can just simply use A or capital A or small a, right? And then if you get the input, you can just simply increment the number of A count. The break one, you will have to put right after this command in order to step out the switch case, and then the statement makes the program skip to end of switch. Where is end of switch? End of switch is here. End of switch is here, right? When default, when you input anything that is not A, B, C or not, or the F, right? We go to this part. This is the default part, right? It will show you incorrect letter grade. Enter a new grade. Okay, and then this is one. This is also the same. Case B, right? B, capital B and small b, right? You can count B and then break. In case C, right? Can count C and then break. Case D and F as well, right? You can ignore the new line, right? And tab. And even for the space input, right? And then you break out of the switch and then get, because this one will be inside the while loop, right? You have the while loop in order to get the grade, right? So you need to like to get the character from the keyboard, right? Until you get a Control Z, right, from the keyboard, and it will stop, right? And then you will show the result, the number of A, B, C, D, or E, F, right? And that's all. This is what we call the how to get the grade. Okay, we can see the input, right? Input will be small a, small b, C, capital C, A, and so on, right? And you try to input the incorrect grade, right? Like E, right? You say that enter new grade, DA. And if you want to stop here, you can just simply press Control Z, right? The program will get out of the while loop, right? You can see while loop, right? While break is get car. Get car is character, right? Not equal to EOF. This one is a compound statement. Compound and compound, right? I'm not going to review this one. I will talk about this later, but you can just simply know that this while loop is to get a character from the keyboard, right? And check for whether it is a Control Z or not, an off file or not, and then go on. If not, right, it will go on. If you want to stop the while loop, it will press just only Control Z. That's all. Okay, and this one will print out the number of A, B, C, D, E, F, not E, right? Only F, right? That is the number of input. That's all. Okay, you can try it. Okay, this is the one. I just want to show you the program of how to check for the grade, input grade, right? A, B, C, D, right? In character, right? This is a possibility tip, right? Test for the symbolic constant EOF, or it stands for end of file, right? Rather than -1 makes program more portable, right? You can use in different kind of the devices, right? According to the end of file. Right? For the C standard state that end of file is a negative integral value, but not necessarily to be -1. But normally in Windows, right, it will return -1, but it's not necessary. It depends upon the machine. Okay, that's too detailed, right? But you will know about this later. Therefore, end of file could have different value on different systems. Okay, that I've just talked to you. And this one is a flowchart of switch case, right? Okay, you can see that and you can try to write it down. Okay. One thing that's quite important, that is the break, right? A break that we will use for this example. If you can use you can simply input blank or tab or new line. That it doesn't matter. It will be ignored and will not count. And then you can just simply perform the break to exit the switch and to get the new data or the new character as an input. Okay. Okay, so here we go to the last session of today, that is about the differences between break and continue. Maybe I will go a bit faster because we just only have the 5 minutes left. Then we will go to the next class, and then I will just want to show that break and continue we will use in the in the switch case. That's right, and inside the loop, right? What we will do, right? For break, right? It will cause immediate out exit from a while loop, a for loop, or do while loop, or switch statement. Normally, when we use while loop, right? When we use while loop or switch case, right? It will be used inside the braces here. Also, the switch case as well, right? You will have to use in the braces like this. So once you have seen the break, right, in this loop, right, what does it mean? If you see this break, it will go through here outside the loop, as well as the switch will go out of the loop. You will ignore the last statement, the remaining statement. So program execution continue with the first statement after the structure. We will commonly use the break statement in order to escape early from a loop. Escape, go out of the loop. Skip the remainder of the switch statement. Like this, right? Go back to A, right? When you get the result A here, you can input A here, right? And break will be go out of the loop. Yeah, okay. Go to this switch case, go out of the loop to here, and then go back to while loop. Okay, for this example, I want to show you the loop, right? Suppose you have for loop to print out 1 to 10, right? But you have a special condition is if x is equal to 5, then you use break. So, and this one is the print the number, right? Normally, if you don't have this loop, right, you will just simply print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10, right? But if you have this loop, right, this loop will print out until x is equal to 5 and then break. Break in this case, right? Break in this case mean the inner for loop or while loop or switch case. This is for loop. When you see break here, it will go out of for loop. So this program will print 1, 2, 3, 4 until 4. 5 will not be printed. Break out of the loop. Okay, this one. Step out of the loop and then print out here. This is what the break means. And for the continue is a bit different. Okay, the same program, but we use continue. Continue will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 will be execute, will be print out, but 5 will be skipped. The loop will be like this for continue, right? Continue will skip out of the loop and then go back to the loop and check for the condition. If it is still 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? It's still less than 10. It still print out the remaining 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 5 will be skipped. This is the difference between break and continue. You can try to use break and continue in the lab in the afternoon. Okay, here we go. We have at the end of this today's session. I know that you may have the question and answer. You have the question. Okay, so maybe we have running out of the time. You have to go to the class calculus. If you have question, you can ask me later in the afternoon. Okay, thank you for your attention and then have a nice day.